And this show is about, surprisingly, health and wealth.
Hey!
Right?
Don't be surprised.
Well, because I don't really talk about health and wealth. You know.
Just because you haven't doesn't mean you can't.
And this is why this is happening, Joy.
Hey, there it is.
You know what I mean? It's time for transition. We're evolving.
Listen, hey.
Look at me.
Look at you
We're
evolving.
I'm evolving.
We're evolving.
You know, I've been on my workout tip, Joy.
We are. I'm about to get in your business.
I want to stay far away from the gym, right? And now I was in the gym like 4 or 5 days in a row, like 5, 6 in the morning.
That's evolving, if you ask me.
I had trail mix today. I'm hungry as shit, but I had trail mix today. Right?
Is that how it goes?
Had the trail mix, yeah. Even though Rob gonna have these tacos going, I'm gonna have to. I can't fuck with tacos, but I can't make a little bowl of shit and put a little in it and take a fork in that. You know what I mean? Oh, see, cool. Now I don't need temptation in my life. Good. I don't need temptation in my life. So, yeah, Joy, I've been I've been on my workout tip, and I'm actually happy about that.
I'm actually happy about that.
Thank you. You've been on these lots of years.
Man,
so it's definitely a new thing.
And you know what I'm on.
I do know what you're on.
I actually just had a fitness studio. You know, I had my fitness studio, and
you do have one.
That's when I've been on for all of my years.
And let me let people know, Joy is a very interesting person. I was just telling them about Drew today, how fucking hilarious you are. And Joy is a very interesting person. She's, I always say, when somebody asks me, well, what does she do? I say, well, you know, she's I think like a physical trainer. I think like a fitness. Like I don't really, but she's a swimmer. Like it's like always these things.
All of the
like,
things.
How would you describe yourself?
Man, that's a good damn question. Actually, I'm in transition at the moment, so I owned, past tense, a fitness studio. I recently just closed it about a month ago.
And that's good because nowadays you got to really explain transition because it gets tricky. Nowadays.
Oh,
it gets tricky now.
Yeah.
If I say I'm in transition, the new
definitely
not
meaning in any way professionally. In my career, I'm in a career transition. Just so that we're clear, don't be trying to take no sound bites and do no foul shit.
Right.
I am in a professional transition at the moment, whereas I was the owner and a trainer over at Eat, Sleep, Sweat Functional Fitness was my company. And I recently closed my studio, which was in South LA, and I'm now moving into more of like the mental and emotional health aspect of our well-being. And so I'm still working. It's a working title, but right now I call myself a clarity coach.
Woo! Okay,
because what I do with my clients is I help them gain clarity. Usually, the top 2 things that people come to me for is relationships and career.
Okay.
And they have lots and lots of questions about how they're showing up, how they know if it's the right situation, how to handle conflict, the things that we all deal with.
Right.
And oftentimes it just is a matter of needing an outside, unbiased perspective from somebody who's going to be honest with you, but who's also going to honor you where you are.
I do that.
So I'm not taking my perspective or my, opinion about what you should do and being like, girl, you need to, or boy, you need to, or whatever. I don't believe in should. I don't believe in what people quote unquote should do.
Okay.
Only in the context of what you should do is what is in alignment with what your intentions are.
I do that.
Now, whether or not your intentions are what I would be working towards or anybody else in the world would be working towards, now that's a different thing. And that's why I don't subscribe to the idea of what a person quote unquote should do.
All right, okay.
Because everybody's journey is different. And so I say...
is the AC cool? Okay.
I say... I am your GPS. I'm your God-purposed support.
I like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, isn't that kind of flirting with therapy?
It is, and I'm glad that you bring that up because one of the other hats that I wear, we have
noise-making Rob over here.
This is the cookout, and so we are actually cooking out, and what's happening is Rob is trying to get up in this ice chest to get his supplies. So that's what y'all hear going down. This is welcome to a live show, everybody.
Right. Okay, my bad. About therapy?
No. So what you said, among the many hats that I wear, I'm also currently in a doctoral program working on my PsyD, a doctorate in psychology, in clinical psychology.
Oh, super dope.
So I will be, when I am done with this program, Dr. Joy, and I will be a clinical psychologist.
You know what's crazy? You almost do everything.
I
do
do.
so much shit, Joy. It's really just like, it's crazy. I asked Joy, what did she do today? How was your day, Joy? And I said, what'd you do? It was all this shit, these things. Like, I'm like, damn, like it's only 6.
I know.
You do so much shit.
I do.
But I'm glad to have you here because my guest I have today, my man Isaiah, is an interesting character himself.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
And he is the grandson of the well-renowned, Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
To the God. He and it's interesting talking to Isaiah about nutrition, health, and old like stories of being with his grandfather and trips to Africa and dealing with some high clientele.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like real billionaire motherfuckers. Like, you know what I mean? And dealing with that. And then the good and bad side of it.
Always.
You know
There's always 2 sides to every coin, for sure.
It's just, it's crazy because I'm trying to, like, so in my journey to getting right is what I like to call it, right? My journey to getting right, I was getting some supplements from my man Isaiah. So I've been following him on Instagram for a while. His Instagram page is Dietary Resolutions. All one word, Dietary Resolutions.
Okay.
And I've been hearing about sea moss a lot. And I've been coming across his page. And he has sea moss pills on his page. Like he sells packages. He got sea moss, fat burners, detox. He got to sell bitters. Like, people don't know about bitters. Well, he'll explain that later. Bitters. I knew bitters from this Belizean family. I knew that pops will always have bitters, but the health benefits from it, I had no clue. You know what I mean? It gets real. You know what I mean? And I just want him to really get some game today. Just hear his side and perspective of things. And I'm so glad to have you in the building. For those who don't know, I called Joy to be in on this show, not because she's just a super dope person, and she runs her own podcast, Real Matters of the Heart, right here on Local Astronauts also. And she's fucking dope.
One more thing that I do.
Yeah, another thing that you do. And I wanted her to be in the building because Joy, the fitness and health shit, this is what Joy does. And I would love to hear your perspective. And you're going to ask the questions I'm not even going to think about.
Yeah.
Because I'm just now trying to get right. You know
Can we
mean?
just stop? Can we pause right there for a minute? Because can we speak about the joy that resonated in my spirit when I saw you post on Instagram about your workout? First of all, I'm just a nerd in that way. I'm such a fitness nerd that anybody who works out, I'm so excited.
Right.
I'm like, Hercules, right? So, like, super excited. I'm so excited about that. And when I saw it, I was just like, yo, because me and Badru had a conversation the other day just about, like, the direction of Local Astronauts and where you guys want to go. And just to tie it into the hip hop shit, like the Jay-Z album and how he's trying to get everybody on just thinking about like long term, thinking about legacy. And a part of your legacy is that you have to be able, your body has to be able to keep up with the work that you're here doing so that you will have a legacy. And that's really my message when I'm talking about fitness. I tell people it's so much bigger than your body goals and trying to look fine in an outfit or any of those things, because I get it. Everybody want to be cute and fine and want to feel good and all of that. But for me, I feel like People's Fitness program is the blueprint for how they approach everything in the world. So if you can't conquer your own stuff, if you got habits and issues that you can't master within yourself, you can't expect that you're going to go out into the world and conquer anything that's going to come your way from outside and beyond you. So I feel like you start at home and you start dealing with what you got going on in your own body, and that's the blueprint for how you will approach things that come from outside, and the legacy that we're going to leave, whether that be as musicians and artists or writers or doctors or whatever your legacy is, whatever business you own, whatever products and goods, your body has to be able to keep up with the work that is required of you to wake up every day. And like you said, I woke up today and did a whole bunch of shit before 6.
Right.
And
Right.
if it weren't for the fact that I'm fit and well, I don't know that I would be able to keep up.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so that's so important. Like when we talk about your health is your wealth, like that is a seminar that I used to do regular. I used to do an annual seminar on that very topic.
Okay.
And it was about like people don't understand like the number 2 reason why people go bankrupt is because of medical bills.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Because when you get hit with unexpected health things,
Yeah.
and you got to do extended hospital stays, and you talking about tens of thousands of dollars or whatever, and your insurance is like, we ain't covering it,
Right.
especially with the janky shit that's going on in our healthcare system right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't want to get caught up, and I understand accidents happen, and you can't prevent everything, but the things that are preventative, the things that we can actually have a hand in working against, like, we should be proactive, and
Yeah.
we should be accountable to ourselves and to our peers and our families about how we handle our instrument.
Right.
Right? And so I was so happy to see you taking that, because I also understand, as much as I know all that, I also understand that it is each individual's journey.
Yeah.
And they have to be ready
Yeah.
to commit to the work that it takes to do that, to be
sure.
consistent, to wake up earlier, or whatever it requires of you, or whatever changes it requires of you to incorporate that. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
So people used to be like, you should go to this event and pass out your card. For what? If people ain't ready, I might as well, that's like trying to plant a seed in concrete.
Right,
it ain't
right,
gonna go nowhere. I need fertile soil. So if a person's mind is not ready to commit to that, it doesn't matter how many workout regimens I can give them. I can give them all kind of nutrition plans. If they're not gonna follow it, we wasting both of our times, right?
And that's how I felt coming into this. So I got into doing this, working out now with some friends of mine. My man, it's this band called The Furnace that I've been doing a lot of work with. My man Irvin Pope, EP, and those guys. First of all, they're just some of the coolest dudes you ever meet. And I was at the studio one day, and they were talking about, well, they was eating like some meal prep shit, and I was like, who made these? And my boy Theo, who actually in the band and goes to the workout, he said, I did it. You know, we've been working out. I'm like, well, when? Fuck, I've been with y'all niggas like the last. Y'all been working out. He said, well, we started last week. But we go in the morning at 6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, y'all, you EP and EJ, who I be with every day, right?
Right.
I'm like, y'all go to the gym every morning at 6 a.m.? To what gym? They said they go to LA Fitness. And I'm just like, dude, I want to go with y'all tomorrow.
Right.
Like, really? Because, let me tell you, so I'm always thinking about, first of all, any overweight person, period, no matter how confident, no matter how the shit they are, and how beautiful they are on the outside, we all think about our health negatively on some real shit. We all like, when I say negative, I mean like we drown in that and bask in that, but we all look at it like, yo, this is a little dangerous though.
Right.
We all do.
Right.
Like I've been overweight for damn the majority of my life. Like, and as happy as I am and being out and joking, and I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, but inside though, I'm like, yo, you don't really need to be like this. Like, because people are dying at like 40.
Bro, I'm telling
like, you. Know what I mean? Like, people are really dying, like dropping dead, like from heart something or something, whatever. And these motherfuckers ain't even fat. Like, so.
Right.
Like, you just kind of hanging on by the
That's
thread.
an extra thing. That's an extra thing.
Yeah,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So, when I knew I wasn't going to do Joy, because it's just, I knew that I wasn't just going to go and get out and just go get a gym membership and just work out.
Right.
Not knowing how, I never really did it. Like, I don't have nothing to motivate me to do it other than me being out of shape.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, when he told me that, I looked at it like, oh shit, this is it. This is what you've been wanting to do. You're already up at 6 in the morning every morning anyway. To go to the gym with two other, my man EJ works out all the time. Now he getting back into the groove of it, but he's used to working out. He knows all the shit and know what to do. But EP and Theo, they're new, like me.
Right.
I am.
Right.
So I'm like, this is my chance to get in from the ground up.
Right.
And start with them, learning how to, you know what I mean, do weights. And then now I have a team around me.
Accountability is huge.
That's what I need.
And that was why a lot of my clients, I have clients to this day that even though I'm transitioning out of training, I have a couple people who just hold on for dear life, and I appreciate them. I do. Let me not make it sound like I'm like trying to get rid of them. I'm not. But the point that I'm making is that I have a woman in particular that I have in mind when I'm thinking about who I basically just walk around with her and talk while she works out because she is very clear about the fact that if I don't have an appointment with you, I won't do it.
Right.
And so I am strictly there for accountability.
Okay.
And I do show her new things and I correct her if she needs to be corrected. And there have been times when she's been coming back from injuries or surgeries where she's needed some specific guidance around that. But in general, just from the day-to-day, session to session, she knows her routine and she doesn't really need me for a whole bunch beyond the accountability piece, knowing that she has this standing appointment with me twice a week, that, you know, if she just doesn't show up, she's going to pay for that.
Right.
Or that if she cancels too many times, it's like it's not just her that she's canceling on. There's another person.
Right.
And so for her, which a whole nother piece for that would be like, okay, well, why do you think I'm more important? Keeping your appointment with me is more important than keeping your appointment with yourself.
Right.
But that would be work that I would do on the mental, emotional health side of things. But the point that I'm making is that accountability piece that you have with your friends, meeting them there, and then being with people who are on a similar kind of pace is huge in terms of you being consistent and committed to the process. Right. That is a huge, I think, probably bigger than the fact that you were already up or whatever other thing, right? Like that having those people there is going to be the glue, I think.
I tell them all the time, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't receive it that way. Like,
right.
Because I hear about one person. I know a couple people, my good friends who frequent the gym a lot. Hell,
yeah,
I know you, and I know my cousin, my real very close cousin. He's a personal trainer at Equinox.
Yeah, and I remember you linked me with him.
Equinox,
yeah,
Equinox. Yeah, my cousin Paris. He's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
he knows his shit. Like, and he's still studying, and he's like, I think one of the top trainers at the Equinox in South Bay.
Oh, I used to go to that one.
Yeah, he's incredible. And Paris been trying to get me in the gym forever, but he's very patient with me because he knows what's up. Heard about me being in the gym and he loves it.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you,
he took it like I see
car wheels, backflips, rainbows, and sunshine. I was like, this is amazing.
It is, and then it's cool because for anybody listening who wants to work out and doesn't for reasons of like mine, where it was I didn't know how, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have nobody to go with. Those really were my reasons.
Yeah, and they're valid. Those are valid reasons.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm not talking like I'm just this gym rat now. I've been going maybe 4 days consecutive, and I fucking love it. Let me just say that.
Yes, yes. I love it.
But that shit makes a world of difference when you're doing some workout. You trying to give them numbers. Look, give me 10. Give me 10. Okay, give me 10. Okay, you know what? Give me 8. Give me 8. Give me 8. I may be struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me 8. Good work. Good money.
Right.
That kind of shit keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you come off something and your boys clapping your hand because they don't make fun of you because I'm the big dude and I'm trying, or because you the big dude and you barely lifting 50 on the bar because you're not used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can't do a push-up because the way you may have to do the girl one on the knees and then get into it.
Those are not called girl push-ups, by the way, because I'm a girl and I can do traditional push-ups.
Totally can, but coming up in PE and everything, people say, they get on the guys like the girl push-ups, right?
Right.
But it's super dope how, we got into, it's super dope how I just have that push and people there, and not only is it comfortable and they make me feel, you know what I mean, like just one of the dudes and rocking. Like, it's still like they're teaching you also. Don't worry, look, that's a learning process. You'll get that later.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
that process. What you're saying is exactly what I was going back a little bit earlier to the conversation. We were like trying to get clarity around what I do. Is that?
Yeah.
But in the realm of mental and emotional health, meeting people right where they are and allowing them to have their process, respecting and honoring their process, and then guiding them along the way so that they don't judge themselves. And so that's exactly what you get to do. And let me just say that that's a really blessed situation that you walked into, because there are a lot of people who are turned off from the whole thing because they don't. We get used to a situation where when we're young, they use fitness as a punishment. Oh, you talking too much? Drop and give me 20, or run the sprints or whatever. Then that becomes associated with negative.
Yeah.
feelings or whatever. And then it's like, okay, well then I grow up and then you tell me it's so good for me and I should do it. And it's like, well, all of the years you told me that I learned that fitness was a punishment.
Yeah.
And now I get to a certain point in my life and you want me to flip the switch and all of a sudden believe that it's supposed to be good for me. I'm supposed to want to do it. You fucked me up with all of that. So it's a good thing that you're starting now and this is your entry into the world of fitness because now your experience of it is positive and like you said, you love it, which again is going to have so much impact on your ability to be committed and consistent, which is going to be the only way you're going to see results. Right. Commitment and consistency. There is no other way. All these pills and whatever else is out there, if you don't do the work, you will not see the results. Point blank, period.
A lot of people try to take the shortcuts and
too many shortcuts.
It's too many shortcuts, and you know, and I even before the days I've been working out now, I know that.
Yeah.
Like I know, you know, what I have been doing a couple of supplements. That does not just tie into what we just talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I will talk about supplements because my man Isaiah comes in. I want him to explain that, you know, the sea moss and the 92 minerals and stuff like that. That's pretty fucking dope. And trying to get certain things. Like I was talking to, I had a meeting with my cousin in Paris, right? Mm-hmm. And he was just evaluating my whole everything, my body weight, and body fat percentage to this and everything, and let me know what my numbers were. Mm-hmm. And he was saying some interesting shit, like, you know, it's this other doctor, I forgot the guy's name, where the doctor, what he does is do these tests on you, and these tests on your body, and these tests gives you like direct, like notes on what your body's missing. As far as like, you know what I mean?
And nutrients and like vitamins, exactly. Minerals, nutrients.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So he'll let you know, like, yo,
you're deficient in this.
You're deficient in this, and this, that. You need to, or you're not sleeping because of this.
Right. This is what that means. You need melatonin. You need vitamin D. Your magnesium. Blah blah blah.
When you go to sleep, your cortisol something spikes at this time, and then you know. So he was really, and I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy, because I was peeping that. I was telling my cousin like, I wasn't sleeping for a while, just like I wasn't tired. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn. So my girl will wake up like 4 or 5 in the morning. She's like, damn, you ain't been to sleep yet? I'm like, man, I want to lay here and go to sleep, but shit, I can't. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not even tired.
Right.
Like, which I know, something's
that's not
wrong,
right.
Though.
That's
That's not like cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm just up.
I'm just up. It's not really cool. And who wants to be up? I don't want to be up that long. Like, I don't. Like, you know what I mean? But so, and my cousin was telling me certain kind of supplements to, well, find out what you're deficient in. Certain kind of supplements will help with that. And then with your workout going, everything to do what it's supposed to do, get right back in place.
Exactly. That's exactly. It's a system.
It is.
Everything works together. Nothing is for nothing. There is no just because.
Right.
Right. Like we go to sleep and certain things happen during the process of sleep, which is so, to your point, it isn't normal. Even though you don't quote unquote feel tired, doesn't mean you shouldn't be asleep.
Right.
Right. Like lay your ass down and go to bed. Right. So all of those working parts, which is why my company name was Eat Sleep Sweat, because it goes together. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about your rest and recovery, and we're talking about your fitness, because you cannot be deficient or inefficient in any of those areas and expect to be fully well and functioning the way that you could be functioning optimally to get the results, whether that be your fitness results, whether that be your health results, whether that be your energy level, whatever it is that you're looking to do when you begin your program, or some combination of those things. If any of those are out of alignment, you're not going to be as efficient as you could be. And that's just what it is.
You know what I noticed? I noticed that, so since I've been doing the workouts, 2 things happen when people find out you're in the gym, especially somebody like me. Mm-hmm. Hella foodie, I'm known to be a foodie and all that, whatever, which I still am, right?
Right.
And for the despite contrary to belief, you can be a foodie and a fucking fitness guru.
Certainly.
It doesn't mean you don't love food, right? You can still eat the right kinds of food.
Absolutely.
Be a foodie. Anyway, but
I
noticed
food.
that being in the gym, you know, on a daily basis, shapes the way mentally, for me at least, and still baby steps. I always admit that. Still baby steps. I still be wanting to fuck shit up, right? I have my cheat days, but still, I be wanting to fuck shit up. But being in the gym mentally makes me want to do right throughout the day once I'm out the gym. Because I'm like, damn, I worked hard this morning. I felt good. First of all, right now, every part of my body sore. There's nothing that doesn't hurt, right? There's nothing that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Like if I blink long enough, like it's pain, right? But
not my eyelid sore. Jesus.
You know, so now, okay, you work out, you feel good. I'm like, yeah, I'm good workout. We all do our shit, shake our hand. We all shake our hand. Hey man, I see y'all. So tomorrow we doing this today. Okay, cool. And I get home, I'm like, damn, like. I don't want to fall into just go get a big ass this or that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing that for if you're going to keep doing this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And, and so I'm like, okay, like today I was like, I was at home and I was like, okay, let me look what's in here. Cool. So now I got to make shit happen.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay, you know what? Take a burger patty, cook this burger patty, and that's it. No bread, no whatever. That shit was good as hell.
Right.
Like it was good. I can't front, but it wasn't what I usually would have just did the whole thing.
Right.
Threw an egg and a bacon on that bitch, and then
we out here.
Yeah, I'm back in the streets, right? but it was like kind of like fulfilling though. Like
right.
You know what I mean? It was like I would never have done this shit on
prior
a regular
to that.
day. But no, he said it's cool. He said it'll come up in the mic. Can you hear it over there?
He's talking about the air.
Oh, are you freezing here?
I'm good.
I'm good too. So you good? Yeah. So yeah. So what the fuck was I talking about?
No. So what I hear you say is two things. I hear though. One, what I talked about earlier is it's a person has to make up their mind and want to do this.
Right.
Because it's not just about going to the gym. Like I was saying, it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so because you're ready, you are willing to make those adjustments, right? And the second thing that I'm hearing is with the thing that we have to understand and remember high about food is that it is meant to be our fuel, right? So we hear all the time, we eat, eat to live, not live to eat, right? And so if we hear that all the time, what does that actually mean? And so if food is meant to be our fuel, what's meant to happen is that you are craving the things that your body needs to function properly.
Right.
So you're not going to crave things that are not serving your body nutritionally.
Right.
So when you're talking about now what's happening with your mind that you've been working out is that you tend to not want the same things that you used to want, is ultimately that your body is now, because you are speaking to your body through the workout, you are now hearing your body when it speaks back to you about what it needs to be able to fuel itself for the workouts.
Right.
So now, I always say all the time that a workout is a communication, is a conversation with your body. You do the movement. So if you do something and you go too heavy and your body's like, I can't do it, or you snap something or pull something, that's your body communicating with you that what you're doing isn't working. Right? So when you begin to have this conversation with your body and engage in the conversation with your body through your fitness routine, you then also hear what it is saying to you. And that is why now your cravings are different. The things that you want to eat are different because you are engaging in a different conversation with your body than you have been previously. So that's what's happening. And again, because you're ready to receive that, mentally you are in a space where you're ready to receive that message from your body, you're responding.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening, and that's the beginning of the evolutionary process with regard to you changing your lifestyle from what it once upon a time had been. It's not magic. I tell people that all the time. It's not magic, and it's not that because I'm into fitness and have been my entire life that I am some kind of special being that like, oh, it's because you've always been an athlete or you've always it's this has been my relationship with my body my whole life. You can also decide to make this your relationship with your body if you choose that. It's as simple as like you said, they said the thing, this is what we do, and you were like, I'm going tomorrow. Right. That's it. It didn't have to be, I'm going to wait till the 1st of January. It didn't have to be all that. I'm going in the morning. Y'all go at 6, I'll be there. Like, it's really a decision. Like, that's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what it was. It was kind of like mentally, I'm taking the steps. Like, so I started my gym, going to the gym after I met my man Isaiah. My man Isaiah just walked in the building. Dietary Resolutions is definitely in the building.
Hey, how y'all doing?
First of all, welcome to the show, the Cookout.
Appreciate it.
That's my beautiful friend Joy.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem, man. We here talking shit.
Due to the high amounts of HIV, herpes in our urban community, it caused me to be late today.
Oh,
but
damn,
I'm happy to be on the show. We're gonna get into that later.
Yes, we are.
Oh, definitely.
Man, because that was the quick one too.
Yes, we are.
I thought you was gonna say traffic.
No,
too, outside of track.
He hit us with the deep,
Right.
Good.
straight out the gate. Okay.
So I was telling her mentally, I'm getting ready. Well, I mean, now I'm still getting ready to take these steps. And so getting in the gym came after I met my man Isaiah.
Right.
So this just kind of like it's like it shows you that no, I was trying. I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
I hit my man up for the supplements for the CMOS and the detox before I even knew my peoples was going to the gym to get into that program to run that. You know what I mean? So mentally, I'm already okay. I got to do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about the gym and working out, so I don't know to just go to the gym and
Start doing
walk
whatever.
around and do what. I don't know what. I never did that. Right. So, but I do know. Okay, my man. I follow my man. And damn, okay, he talking about the supplements, and I'm looking into it. I'm talking to my cousin who's a trainer. He like, yeah, man, fuck with it. You know, okay, maybe I'm taking these steps to do the next thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just made all the sense in the world, man. I'm glad it's coming together like that because now that I'm going to the gym, I look forward to the shit every morning. Like tomorrow, technically, is our off day. We do Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesday off day, but you do something though, something active, something like that. But I'm just gonna go back up there and maybe hit the treadmill. And then Thursday, Friday, you know, we got our days. We do everything. But so tomorrow I'm going back. So I'm just starting to like it. That's what it is. Like I've been going now. I look forward to it. I actually look for like as tired as I am in there, and my body muscles feeling crazy. I'm hurting everywhere. I'm just like, I can't wait to get back.
Right.
Because that means something working. That means your muscles is
shit
coming together. You know what I mean?
Can I pause you for just a moment?
Yeah.
Because I want to highlight something that you said, but like really pull it out. What you said is that you made a decision in your mind. You started talking to Isaiah about what he's doing, and then the opportunity came up for you with amongst your friends who you have been hanging out with already every day up until that point.
Right.
And to me, what that represents is just the power of our consciousness and the power that we have to create our lives and the experiences that we have. And it was a situation where you essentially made up in your mind what you were intending to do, and then because that was in your consciousness, you began to create that in your reality.
Right.
And it aligned you with people in your life, whether they were new relationships or people you had already been around who had the resources to get you to where you want to go. And to me, I just think that, again, we all have access to that power, but it's just a matter of like being attuned to it. So that's why I want to pause you and like really extract that, because essentially that's what happened. Like you made up something in your, you made a decision in your mind, and your consciousness created opportunities for you to live that thing out. And that's what we do, good, bad, or indifferent. We make decisions in our mind about things, and then we begin to create those things in our lives. Your thoughts become things. And that's what's happening. That's what happened, has happened, is happening with you. And I just wanted to pull that out because I think that's relevant beyond this point, beyond this conversation, beyond this moment. That's a relevant thing to remember, that your thoughts become things in your life. So if you're not in control of those, then you're not going to be in control of what is happening. You're going to always feel like your shit is tripping. When it's really you tripping, and you're creating that. Right? So I wanted to pull that out because I just want to commend you and acknowledge you on just really following through and just being such a powerful being and like allowing yourself to walk in that power, because sometimes we'll fight it. We'll kind of get scared of what we're capable of. And so I really just want to acknowledge you for being willing to just being that.
And then another thing, not to cut you off, and another thing I want to add to that, most men, I've been working with obesity, weight loss, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, for a very long time. And I find it with the black men, they not really into their health at all. It's all about fashion, designer, material, money, things that don't have value. So the fact that you hit me up like, man, I want to get right, I'm tired, I commend that, because at the end of the day, most men not thinking about their health at all.
And to the point that I was making earlier about your health is your wealth, right? Before you walked in, I was sharing with him that I used to do this thing, talking about your health is your wealth, and I tied it to money because of the point that you're making. A lot of people don't prioritize their health because it's money, it's material. It's more about what it looks like versus what it actually is. So tying that in and saying, no, your health is your wealth, because the number 2 reason for bankruptcy is actually medical expenses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if you out here trying to ball out, you might want to take care of yourself before all the work you're doing get wiped away in about 3 nights in a hospital stay.
Exactly.
Right. So So I appreciate that point as well, for sure.
Definitely.
So I want to now I already switched gears. I want to turn this shit up a little bit. If it's okay.
Let's do that.
I got my man Isaiah in the building, man, and like I said, man, welcome to the show, man. This is a show I'm really excited about. You know, I love all my shows for different reasons.
Right.
And this one being, I've talked about many things. Sometimes I just funny shit. Sometimes I just be clowning, cool, cover some gossip, cool shit, whatever. This is very, very, very serious and important to me. This show now,
Right.
because of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically staying alive, and doing it right though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I talked to my man Isaiah. Man, we talked in the parking lot of a park before when I met him. We talked in the parking lot of a park, and we were really having a good conversation about all kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you know, when you click with people, first of all, when Joi was speaking, what she's saying about the thought in your mind and you create your reality around you. I'm deep, and I'm deep on that, and I speak to that. I speak to my ancestors all the time, and they help me shape my world around me. So when she said that, it hits here because that's what I truly believe. So my vibe meter is never off, never off.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a vibe that was wrong. If my vibe was wrong, something was wrong. My vibe's right, something's right. So meeting my man, we chopping it up and looking him in his eyes, we talking. The vibe is right. The vibe is right. My man is telling me, I'm receiving it. I'm asking questions.
Right.
We're clicking. You know what I mean? And it's just like, my man, like, he don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm like, yo, this relationship is gonna continue. You know what I mean? Whether it's through fellowship and just chopping it up, through supplements, health and wealth, whatever, or just, my nigga, what's up? You out? What you doing? Like, you know what I mean? You know, whatever. You know, so. But talking to you though, it was real interesting because a lot of stuff we shared was just like, was deep, bro. You know, with the health thing, I'm trying to, you know, maneuver through this and find ways to what to do, what not to do.
Right.
It's hard because I'm trying to figure it out. So, you know, first time somebody big goes to the gym, everybody wants you to do everything now. Right? I said, you know, I went to the gym today. Okay, now you gotta just stop eating meat, no bread, no water, no this, no that. Fish on Tuesdays. Don't eat bread at 6 o'clock.
That's
don't
hilarious.
Eat corn.
Don't eat bread at 6 o'clock.
It's all these things, right?
Yo, it's hella rules
It's all these
that
rules.
are
Like,
so
damn,
arbitrary, though.
like,
So arbitrary.
Baby steps, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And because what happens is, like we talked about the personal trainer who do too much, people turn you off from things. You know what I mean? You don't want to be turned off like, hey, bro, I'm not even talking to him no more because I have to eat air sandwiches for, you know what I mean? Now on, you know, I don't even know what to do.
Or I hurt myself or something else because you just did too much.
So it was. I want to talk about some of them things, man, that we discussed that day, man. But I want to start off. Let's talk about dietary resolutions first.
Okay, definitely.
That's your company.
Yes. My name is Isaiah Bowmen. I'm Dr. Sebi's grandson.
Salute.
I have a company called Dietary Resolutions, you know, a branch out to my grandfather's company, Dr. Sebi, Sell Food. That's something we designed about 7 years ago. I wanted to specialize in weight loss. My grandpa specialized in AIDS, cancer, herpes, diabetes. So as a kid, I saw people who had HIV. I saw people with herpes, you know, from celebrities to average Joe. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, I was like, well, that seemed hard. You curing herpes seemed hard. Mm. But as a kid, my grandfather already said, plants, the herbs are the healing of the nation.
Absolutely, 100%.
So by the herbs being the healing of the nation, there's nothing that's impossible.
Right.
If there's a disease, there's a cure for that disease.
That grows right out of this earth.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, 100%.
So when my grandfather created dietary resolutions, when we created that, and when he created Dr. Sebi Cell Food, I had to make it something elite for our people.
Right.
Something electrical. It have to be just as great as my grandfather. So when I presented it to him, hey, I want to go into weight loss. I started telling my friends, man, I'm gonna specialize in weight loss. They laughed at me. Oh man, what you talking about? Weight loss? Yeah, that's whack. You laughing? You know, some people was with it, some people was against it, but it took me about 4 years to design this product. I went through formulas after formulas. So when I finally created that one formula that can help you lose 5 to 14 pounds in 7 days, when my grandfather with it, he loved it. He said, do it. But not only that, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, rest in peace, is one of the reasons why I'm back into the business. I specialize in hip hop, weight loss, now herpes, cancer, diabetes, you know, due to the spite of my grandfather passing. Now I specialize in everything, which he always said, you gonna work with every disease. And I was like, I don't wanna work with HIV. I saw that, it's deadly,
Yeah.
it's dangerous. And we have to take care of ourselves as people.
Yeah.
Only because of the fact that that's a sexually transmitted disease. Wrap it up. If you got a disease, tell your significant other or whoever you having sex with.
Right.
Because right now, herpes is at its highest. So many youngsters between the ages of 18 to 50 have herpes, and it's rapid. Some of your friends may have herpes. You know, people you know around you, not even saying anything, but they have it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's some people you know who have HIV,
Right.
but not saying anything because they scared. There's a cure for HIV. There's a cure for these diseases. But it all starts with the food that we eating every day as well. The food, 80% of the food that Americans eating every day is processed. So let's wake up. If you shopping at Superior or Food for Less, that's like the bottom of the barrel food. That's the last, you know? And they only have those places in our community.
Exactly.
Right.
So the question I was going to ask you, I know you said you started off initially wanting to work with weight loss, but that now, partially because your grandfather is no longer with us in the physical realm, but also just my question is, did you feel like once you got started, you kind of can't compartmentalize it? It's like it kind of just all goes together when we talk. So with respect to that, then you start talking about what's kind of contributing to us having these diseases and these you know, chronic illnesses, and then it becomes an issue of like we got to look at we got to, you know, pan out a little bit more and look at like the political element of it. So there's the personal responsibility, and then there's the political responsibility of like what's in our neighborhoods. And so then it becomes a conversation around, not only do we have to be personally responsible and accountable, we now have to be political advocates for what is in our neighborhoods.
That's true.
So it's like it doesn't stop.
Right.
It's like it just constantly gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's true. But see, as a community, you know, I can't hold all this information because my grandfather didn't hold any information.
Right.
So it's like, I'll be a fool to hold all of the knowledge, you know, from our people, because it's so many people that don't know about GMO products, don't know about pesticides and chemicals, don't know about Monsanto's, don't know about a lot of different things. They don't know. Most people think, you know, seedless grapes is natural.
Right. Anything that's telling you it's growing out of the ground that don't come with a seed, they lying.
Exactly.
They lying. How it's not gonna have
modified.
seeds? How it's not gonna have seeds? You planted it with the seed, it didn't come back with a seed.
Right. Come
Somebody
on.
lying.
Exactly.
Bro, somebody out here telling a bald-faced lie.
Right. But most people been bamboozled and brainwashed and think that's okay.
And it's convenience. Our minds, we want convenience. We want quick, fast. We want grab and go. And so even if it's down to, if I can eat this without worrying about having to spit out a seed, which is lazy as hell.
Right.
But people gonna do it. Because I could just do this without the thing. Like, that's crazy to me.
Instant gratification is killing our society right now. We think fast food is real food. Anything that's sitting under a heat lamp is not healthy.
Y'all gotta know, even if you out there eating it, just please tell me you know it ain't. Just nod your head,
see,
yes.
That's the part. Yeah. right.
Just nod your head, yes, I know.
You want to have. It's like, it seems like every day I'm losing more and more faith in mankind, right? It's like at least know that. Like, okay, you did McDonald's, right? Yeah, but at least know that that's not real shit.
Like, know you out here making a decision of poison.
But then at the end of the day, I want to thank Michelle Obama because if it wasn't for Michelle Obama, you wouldn't have GMO labels in grocery stores.
Right.
You wouldn't have may cause cancer in front of McDonald's and Taco Bell and these fast food places now. When people was, brainwashed and wasn't awoke,
Right.
you was just eating fast food, and now your uncle have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. This person just had a stroke. This person died, and we don't know why, but they've been eating fast food and processed food.
And we telling ourselves it runs in the family, quote unquote.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad me and you talked about that.
What?
Yeah, we
That's
talked about
like-
that
Yeah,
in the
that's
parking
sick.
lot. That is
How
there
does
is
a
no-
man-made something run in your genetics?
It don't.
It's absolutely wholly does not.
Right. I'm glad we having this discussion because it's so many people on an everyday basis tell me, oh, well, my mom have diabetes, so it runs in my genes. No, it don't.
The habits that created
Everybody
run in your
in
family.
your household is eating the same thing. It's a cycle. Your grandmother gave it to your mom, so your mom gave it to you.
Exactly.
It's a cycle. So someone has to break that cycle.
Exactly. It's not the disease
It's
that
not
runs
a
in your
disease.
family. It's the habits that create the disease that run in your
Exactly.
family. You can choose differently.
Right.
You can choose differently.
Yeah.
Eating corn, that we have to break that cycle. That's genetically
about that.
modified in a laboratory. Remember we was talking about that in the
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah.
You was shocked. You said, well, corn is what? Yeah, corn is genetically modified in a
Have you,
laboratory.
and this is about to be a little bit nasty, but have you ever checked your stool after you ate corn?
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
You see
in
how
the
that
stool.
food looked just like it looked when you bit into it?
It
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Right.
good for the
Right.
digestive system.
None of that broke down?
Right.
Right.
That's just gonna be
Right. Right.
just like that?
Exactly.
Cool.
Something
That
is
can't
wrong.
be right,
Right.
bro.
Can't be. Yeah,
Like
can't be.
if we said food is fuel, and we said that we're supposed to take those nutrients and it's supposed to feed the tissues of our body. That didn't happen if it's coming out the same way it looked going in.
Right.
None of what I was supposed to get from that happened.
Right.
So that makes me know, like,
I'm about to eat a
no.
toy. I'm gonna eat this bottle.
Because that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Because if
if
I swallow the Happy Meal toy,
Exactly.
it's gonna come out the way it went in. So anything that's doing that, I don't. Again, somebody lying.
See now, look now. Okay, me and you were. There's some other conversations we have. I want to talk about the misconceptions of what eating clean is. Not okay. We know what eating clean is supposed to mean.
Right.
But a lot of people aren't eating clean.
Clean.
Like they think they are. Right.
Exactly.
So and me and my man Isaiah, he was fucking me up. Like, okay, you can't eat. They can't eat that. Damn, they can't eat. Because they're just knowing your shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like corn, a lot of people do not know that,
Most
but it
people
makes sense. Why does corn look like it did when it went down? Like that's crazy.
Because that's genetically modified in the
Right.
laboratory. So by that being genetically modified in the laboratory, it's gonna have some harm for your body. See, nowadays, okay, now for kids, I tell all my parents, please don't give your kids corn. Why? Because if you have a son, giving your son corn can alter his DNA. And when I say alter his DNA, it can destroy his masculine traits and give him female traits. Now, if you have a little girl, it's going to deplete her feminine traits and give her masculine traits. That's why so many little boys, so soft, more feminine, cry more. Where your daughter, you like, she tough, she could fall on the ground, she tackling boys. You're like, what's going on? But it's the food. If we stop giving our kids so much processed food, then you will see the development of your child to be much better.
Right.
As far as their immune system, their growth, how their behavior,
Mood, personality,
everything,
yeah.
personality, exactly.
Yeah.
That's important. That's key right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, health is wealth, and it's about longevity, especially right now.
And to that, not to go deep into this conversation, but with I would say in media, right, or just the world in general is being advertised, homosexuality is at an all-time high. Right?
Oh my goodness!
And when I say that, I don't mean to offend anyone.
Right.
I'm just saying it's never been seen and promoted as much as it is now.
Right.
First of all, no sexual preference have. It's just
No, but all of a sudden,
Right.
it's glorified because
And to your point, okay, little Tommy has been acting like a girl since he was born, so he must be born gay. But to what you were saying, like, no, you've been feeding
If it's
him
dietary,
weird shit.
You feeding them.
if you were eating it when you were pregnant, and so
right.
So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't know the links,
Right.
in terms of like what the link is from diet to any hormonal or whatever. I know that there is a link, certainly.
No,
Right.
I know.
Right. You hit it right on the money.
I know that
there is a link.
I'm not, because there's a reason why we say things like "you are what you eat."
You are.
Though that doesn't just come out of nowhere, and so I certainly know that there's a link to any of these things because I believe that there's a food cure for everything. There's our friend. I don't know if you know Nick. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know Nick. He has his company. There's a plant for that. And it's literally like whatever you got going on, there's a plant for that.
Right.
Right. And his whole idea is about like our healing and our everything comes from the earth. And which another sidebar quickly is I said, all this stuff that we're talking about with our healthcare system and all that. I said, this really might just be a blessing in disguise. It's going to force us to take care of our earth better because we're going to have to depend on the earth for healing because our healthcare system is about to go to shit.
To that, what's crazy is that I don't even believe that, and no, I believe in the idea and hope of that. Mm-hmm. It should be, but I believe the true people in power, they're too greedy to even give a shit. Like they'll tear it up to self-implosion. Like they'll fuck it up until it's all going.
Certainly,
all going. Like,
the earth will purge us. The earth is powerful, and we will all be purged if we keep fucking around.
Right.
We will all be purged.
You made a point just now. Healthcare. Mm-hmm. Healthcare right now is a $1 billion industry only because of the fact that who's going to take it? You're the consumer. Mm-hmm. So doctors right now are falsely saying people have cancer. Mm-hmm. You could walk in a doctor healthy. You're going to walk out with a prescription and he might tell you got diabetes or cancer. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he get paid a lot of money to write that prescription. Right. You get what I'm saying? So right now,
that's sick.
It's very sick.
The pharmaceutical business is crooked, and we trust them.
Remember this, and this was the most recent, I think, most recent, and also the most blatant kind of just example or display of that. When the gentleman who I don't know if it's a guy or a girl actually, or a guy or a woman, who owns the EpiPen, and how they just spiked the price, like. It went from like $50 a pen to like $500 or something like crazy. Right. And those things are like a one-time use. My point being, they recognize two things. One, they create a need, and then two, they create a fear around that need.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so it becomes an issue of, we know now it's people who be like, as soon as you say cancer, they like, what? And they're so afraid of it that they're like, whatever I gotta do to not have it. Right. So if I gotta, $30,000 chemo treatments 5-6 times or for however long, do it.
And what's
right?
Crazy,
and because we're so scared, so they create a need, they create the disease, and then they create the fear around it.
What's sick is, I walked in like this, right? And then I'm told I have cancer. And then I get on chemo. I don't know time between but let's say a week later. I get on chemo a week later, and I look the worst I've ever looked in my life.
Exactly.
I'm talking like a walking dead.
Poison.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, something else is killing you. I was told I got cancer Tuesday.
Right.
I'm dying like now. Start fucking with this machine next Tuesday.
Right.
Like I got on this fucking chemo machine and I'm looking bad out here.
It's population control. Remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
The first thing a doctor want to tell our people is that, radiation treatment, fast chemo. Let's do chemo. They not looking for an alternative way.
At all.
If that doctor would say, "Hey, you know what? You've been eating too much fried chicken. You had too much white rice.
Stressing out too much.
Too much eggs. Yeah. Drinking coffee every day. Eating burgers and God knows what else. Hey, let's flush your system. Have you ever detoxed before?" They not going to tell you that because he made $30,000 off that chemo.
Damn.
We're not in the business of healing. We're in the business of maintaining people.
Right.
That's two very different things.
No. They don't maintain. They in the business of killing people. That's all they do is kill. Soon as you, one of your relatives, it's just about everybody we know is one person in each household that one of their relatives have cancer.
Yeah.
It's not by design. It's what we eat every day.
Right.
If you consuming eggs, bacon, coffee, fried chicken, then you turn around having fast food during the day, no water, lack of fruit. Well, what do you think is supposed to happen? Your body is a temple.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to abuse our temple. We're supposed to respect it.
And it's crazy in hearing that. It's just like, because it's common sense. You know, it's kind of like, yo, you know this is fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it. Like, I know it. Like, you know what I mean? I know exactly what I was going to be eating. Now, there's things I didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know certain things. Like, we talked about soy. Not that I fuck with soy. We talked about soy. We just talked about corn before. We talked about white rice. Right? Well, you know, so some things are the inside info with shit. You would have to know. Like,
You have to know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that does that or that, whatever, you know. But some things you just fucking know. Like, I know that, well, ours made sense to me. I think we talked about this too. I said, we're the only creatures on the earth that don't drink our own milk. Like, we drink milk from another animal.
Right.
And then when you think about the process of that, like, could you imagine the first nigga that got somebody to do that? Like, that has to be the most ill conversation ever. Like, you do what?
Right.
Drink what from what?
Right.
And them things, like, that got to be crazy.
That have to
and
be.
we're doing it on a daily basis.
Right.
Did you think about that?
I read something one day that was like, "You're not lactose intolerant. You're just not a baby cow."
Right.
And I fully fell out
that's
laughing
funny
because I was like, "That is really hilarious."
That is funny because I tell people this every day, and you could be in your whole church or wherever you do, or you know, work. Ask everybody at your job, how many of them are lactose intolerant? The whole room gonna be lactose intolerant because we're not supposed to drink milk from a cow. That's for a baby calf. It's the reason why that doctor say, hey, when you're a baby and you get sick and you go to the doctor, don't give your baby milk. It's a reason because that milk is gonna cause more mucus. It's not. We're not designed to drink milk.
Right.
Most women don't even want to breastfeed, and that's the best thing for
Which
your
is
baby.
crazy as hell to me.
It's like you'd rather give
Crazy
your
as hell
baby
to me.
some
powder.
some man-made powder that you don't know what's in it, what it's going to do to the development of your child, than to breastfeed.
Because you didn't see, and when I say see, you didn't know. You didn't see the effects of what the powder and all this other milk was doing to your kids.
Right.
But like I said, it was a lack of. You seen it, you just didn't know what you
You didn't know what you was looking at.
That was the root.
Crazy, or why somebody died of cancer,
Right.
or why you just think it runs in
It's
the
in the
family.
family.
Right.
Like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Right.
But we doing all the things.
We're
Like, you know,
participating in creating that stuff for ourselves again. Consciousness.
Right. Look, Isaiah, man, I want to talk about. So we talked about corn, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to nitpick it, find every food that we. But
Right.
it's just very interesting to me. I want to let people know because I didn't know. Like when you say white rice or talk about, or why not white rice or why not eggs or why not soy? Like you know what I mean?
Some of the more common things that people probably eat.
Most people, and this is for my vegan world. You know, we talked about that. How most people, you're just like, well, what is, you know, why are so many people going vegan? Well, most people say they vegan, and like I told you, most people that say they vegan gonna get sick faster than you because they eat the wrong things. You know, most vegans eat tofu, and that's not real. You get what I'm saying? There's no nutritional value in tofu. But you have the vegan world, you know, they glorify tofu.
Right.
Just like soy. Soy is made from plastic, but most people who's vegan eat soy, which is not good for the body.
Right.
So
Do they? They have obviously have no clue that that's what it is.
A lot of people
soy
don't.
creates mucus.
A lot of people don't, but I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is this thing of like convenience. And for a lot of people who do convert to a vegan lifestyle or a plant-based lifestyle, they're constantly looking for something to be a replacement. So it's the texture. So let me get this tofu because it gives me the texture of a meat in whatever this is. And so they're trying to substitute what it is that they're missing, not realizing that they're, like to your point, Isaiah, doing more damage. So it's not about choosing a vegan lifestyle for a lot of people to be healthier, because if they were, then they would do their due diligence and find out what their options should be or are. You know what I mean?
And common sense tells me, and I'm not a vegan, so I'm just saying, but hearing this is like, okay, if I can't eat burgers, right, but somebody made something that's not a burger, but it's like a burger, something tells me like, wait, that got to be way more fucked up.
Because you just made something up.
Right.
One at least existed. It came from somewhere that was here. Something that was here.
Right.
And though you're not supposed to eat it, I mean, it's here though. It's here. You made something. I don't know what the fuck you made.
Right.
Where it come from, how you make it. What
Right.
kind of, you know what I mean?
What you put in it.
What
right.
you put in it. Like you
Right.
just made some shit. And it's funny because, not really funny, but it's funny because, you know, if you are a vegan and you like you live the plant-based lifestyle, you are doing tofu and soy. My thing is like, well, you did all this information, all this study and research. I would assume to be a vegan, how you didn't know what the fuck tofu was?
Because they didn't do all that study and
They
research.
did.
Right,
They
They
didn't.
just straight up like going.
A lot of
just
times
a
it's just a fad.
It's a fad right now.
And that's why vegans, they gotta make a point to be able to see it. Like we could be like, yeah, we going to Magic Mountain. Oh my God, but I'm a vegan, so I don't know if they have food for me at Magic Mountain. It's like, bro, what are
Like,
you
we're really talking about.
Like you just made that, like you just interjected that
Right.
point because
Right.
like that was not even.
What was the point? Right.
So
But
it's
you-
all about the
that's true.
fad.
It's
Like,
a
what
fad.
are you even saying?
And-
Get
and
out of
then
here.
even
We
if-
talking about Superman the Ride. What are you talking about?
Right.
right.
No, she's right. It's so many people.
Shit,
Well,
get
I'm
out here.
vegan. Well, the first thing I ask those people who, you know, like she said, into the fad, well, do you eat soy? Yes, I love soy. Well, did you know that soy is made from plastic? What are you talking about? Well, you're vegan, right? You know, those are the people that, like she said, it's just a fad. Being a raw food eater and being a vegan is two different things.
Right.
Right.
Vegans eat the wrong things.
A lot of
A
times.
raw food eater, that's plant-based. That's everything's fresh.
From the ground.
An alkaline-based eating, like what we talked about. Eating thing that's plant-based, such as the portobello mushroom, eating kale, you know, eating a portobello mushroom, squash, zucchini, you know, the black beans, the garbanzo beans, that's real protein. Avocados, you know, most men, I ate 3 to 4 eggs a day. Yeah, I'm getting real protein. No, you're not. You saw Rocky do that in a movie, and all of a sudden you want to eat boiled eggs. But in
Not getting
actuality,
your life advice from a Hollywood film.
right, you know, hey, we get a lot of advice from television and movies anyway, you know.
But about the eggs though, like I'm glad you brought that up. That's more of a, I'm saying, a common food for everyone. That what's the misconception with eggs?
Eggs is not on the pyramid. They can't even label it because it's don't have any nutritional value. Anything that don't have value is not good for the body. So that egg creates mucus, high cholesterol, inflammation.
I heard the same thing for bananas. No, not the same.
No.
Not bananas. Okay. I thought,
Well, can you go back to the soy for a minute about it being plastic? I had never heard that. I had definitely heard that soy is high in estrogen, which I know.
Marcus Garvey
Talk about-
talked about the soy.
Yeah,
a
so
while
I never
ago.
knew that about this plastic piece. Can you talk
Yeah,
about that
he
for
was
a
the
minute?
first one to discover soy being plastic. So if soy, we could create plastic out of it. Why you want to put it in your body?
that's crazy.
Oh, so you're saying it can be used
For
to make plastic?
To make plastic.
Got it.
But
Oh,
it's the same
okay.
thing,
The same thing.
right?
Yeah. But I was thinking. I mean, I guess
A bottle with just a
yeah.
bowl of soy, like,
Right.
And
you-
I'm
right.
like, help me understand.
Yes, plastic.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Shit,
Okay,
the plastic
so it
bottle
be
you can
used.
consume, and we could get it from soy.
Damn, that's ill. You know.
But you know, we have to research. Marcus Garvey said it. First one to say it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then soy don't have value.
They just take
It's
it.
not good for the digestive system. You eating soy over the period of time, that created masses of mucus,
In
bacteria,
your gut,
inflammation
Wow.
on your intestinal
Your
walls.
gut, yeah.
And mucus, I think mucus on the brain causes like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, right?
Alzheimer's, you can have seizures from getting mucus on your brain. You can have tumors from having mucus on your brain. You can die from having.
Straight up. Yeah.
I mean, if
One
we just want to
stroke.
cut to the chase.
Yeah, I'm just being
Right.
honest.
Damn.
But it's all go back to the food we eat. If you're drinking coffee 365 days a year and you turn around and drink a Dasani, you could have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I think I hear you moving into this idea of not just the individual things that we eat, but also the combinations of things that we eat.
Exactly.
And so, and on the plus side of things, when we talk about people who have plant-based diets, there are ways you can create what we call like essential, proteins by combining multiple different ones, right? To create like a whole protein, right? And so there are ways on the flip side of that where you can combine certain foods where when they come together create a disaster.
Exactly.
Hearing it, right? How you put it together, hearing him say it, how you put it together, it's like, well, yeah, damn, yeah. It's everything. It's science.
Exactly.
It's the mixing of
That's why it's called food science.
and
Nutrition is the science of food.
Yeah. So if they're making the food and putting all this shit in there,
Right.
I'm sure that some of these things they put in there couldn't even hang out in real life together.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When you put it like that,
Right.
like if they got, I'm totally making this up.
Okay.
If they got Tetsu or something in this one food and then Sake something in this one, like, what if these two can't even play in the same jar?
Right, which is why they have to modify it in order for it to not be combustible in the lab or whatever else. And so
But
it becomes this thing of necessity.
Because you want bacon and egg on your burger. And now you got 3 different things that don't fuck with each other.
Exactly.
You know
Because
what I
it's
mean?
cheaper to do it like this and charge you this, and which is why when people ask the question like, why can I get a whole whatever meal for $1, McDonald's, but then when I want to go get a salad, it's $9 or whatever.
$7.
Because the shit they're feeding you on the dollar menu
It's
only
all
cost
fake.
them 12 cents to make it. So them charging you $1 is still a huge ass profit.
They
for
made
them.
their money
Salads
back.
are looking at you like, this is the real price for this shit. Like, I don't know what they're charging there.
Because you understand, I gotta wait a whole season for this to grow again. Like this shit is not gonna be ready again until next spring.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Because
you're
that's
gonna
how
have to
foods
pay
grow.
the premium price for this to be
Definitely.
for me to harvest the ground
If you
and
can
to
make
grow
this-
it all over
If
again.
I can make this every 10 minutes, I charge $1 too.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
but I can't
You know what I
do
mean?
that. This
And
isn't
now,
happening in the lab.
Let's think about it. And this is fucking crazy. I'm thinking of it. This is crazy, right? You go to the drive-thru, you order at one window. I want a cheeseburger, something, whatever. That shit is ready by the next window.
Nigga, 50 feet up. You ready?
You didn't even wait 5 minutes.
Yo, that's
Nigga, what?
sick.
But no,
Yeah,
They throw a
it's,
big ass soda on top of it.
it's not sick. It's population control.
Yeah.
And we not paying attention. We'll give our kids McDonald's in a heartbeat. But then not paying attention, your kid 20 minutes later, sleepy, sluggish, tired.
Right.
Then 20 minutes after that, his little Darnell bouncing off the wall.
Bro.
Or little Sheena hyperactive.
Not Sheena.
You know, all day.
I love that.
Wait, can I share a story about that?
Please.
So this was some years ago. I was at a basketball game and there was a young lady sitting in front of me. She was pregnant. And then she had a young boy. He looked to be about 3 years old. And I'm talking about bouncing in the bleachers. Up and down and jumping. And so part of it is I'm a little boy and it's just what I'm going to do. But the other part of it was he had a ring pop on one finger, a Fruitopia, a 20-ounce Fruitopia in his one hand, and she was toting around a bag of McDonald's, right? And I'm talking about he was bouncing all over the place,
You definitely
crawling.
put a date and time with that
See,
Fruitopia.
that's
Definitely put a
Right,
date
with the
time with the story with the
Fruitopia,
Fruitopia.
right. It was about 6 or 7 years ago. But it was crazy because I'm talking about she was so frustrated and tired and she pregnant. She hollering, sit down. She keep hollering. And I get to a point where I'm tired of hearing her hollering.
Right.
And I just said to her, ma'am, he's not going to sit down. Do you see where you're feeding him?
You just straight
I'm
up.
talking about,
You just straight up. Like,
come on.
right.
Let's not make it like it's the 3-year-old's fault.
Right.
You the grown ass
You the
one.
grown woman.
You done
Right.
paid for it and did all this.
Right.
And you keep hollering at him. And I'm tired of hearing you holler.
Right.
So let me help you.
right. It's like you put $100 in the tank and wondering why my car's still driving.
Yeah,
Like,
let me
put
help
$100
you understand why he's not going to ever sit down. I don't care
He
how
won't
loud
sit
and how many
down.
times you yell it. So when I said that to her, I'm talking about she turned around and I just was like, we about to fight. I just felt like, because I done just checked her whole, because at this point, in that one sentence, I have questioned your parenting skills, and like all of this, right? And she just turned around and like looked at me and I was just like, I mean,
Right.
we out here, sis. I'm trying to help you. You trying to figure out why he won't sit down.
I'm trying to give you a
cut
little
to the
game,
chase,
a little
right?
guidance.
And so she just like kind of rolled her eyes but it was like, I bet you she ain't holler sit down no more times because I'm wasting my breath.
Right,
Is what I'm doing.
right,
And he's
right.
not going to sit down.
But you have to understand something. Most women don't understand it
Right.
how you do. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a generational thing. Her mom gave her McDonald's.
Certainly.
And a blow pop.
And
go
she
sit
feeding
down.
her baby that ain't
Right.
even born yet. She
Right.
got a bag of McDonald's. So she already setting this kid up, whoever he or she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
For a
that's-
disaster.
It's a generational thing.
Certainly.
Because then you wonder why your baby have diabetes early, ADD. Is what you give your child.
Or his growth is stunted,
Stunt
or he's not
growth.
performing well in school, or whatever. I mean, the school thing is a whole
Attention
nother thing,
span.
but you know, it
Right.
all
it all
of
ties
that,
into
all
that.
of that.
That's very important.
If I could change gears real quick, I want to talk about the legacy of your grandfather. If that's okay.
Okay.
First of all, he was an amazing man. I wish I could have just met him. You know what I mean? I got hit to Dr. Sabi a little late, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
But once I did, though, it was fucking amazing.
Right.
I used to forward his videos all on Facebook. It just was very interesting, man. He explained. First of all, I loved how he explained things. I can't talk to my regular vegan or vegetarian
Right.
friends about. They turn me the fuck off with this shit, right?
Right.
I'm just like, man, I don't want to hear you talk about,
Right.
It's a turnoff. They don't even
so
know how to explain certain
self-righteous.
things.
It's
Right.
so self-righteous.
It is, right?
Yeah.
When I heard Dr. Sabi talk about that, it made sense. He didn't say like, "Hey, just stop doing that." He's like, "Let me show you why you should stop doing this because this is what your body's doing."
Right.
I remember I told you he explained. I was watching. The way he explained it was so like, "Oh shit, okay, that makes sense."
Mm-hmm.
He was explaining the effects of air deprivation, right? And how diseases are made,
Right.
or certain things are already inside of you by what you eat, and air deprivation will bring a lot of this shit out.
It triggers it. Mhm.
It triggers it. So he explained. He said, "Look," he said, "if I put you in a room, if I can kind of, I don't want to fuck up quote this story, but it's going to make sense, right?" He said, "If I put you in a room with just a table, it's a table in a room, and you lay down on this table." He said, "If you lay there for a month or something, so whatever the time was," he said, "what's going to happen to you? You just lay flat on the table for a month." I said, everybody got thinking, everybody got the, especially in black families, you got the mom that's on bed rest, she's staying in the other room, she don't need a bed, and
Right.
you got to roll them over every such because for bed sores.
So,
shit.
yeah.
Sores
He
and
said, so you have to roll over.
atrophy.
He said, so they'll get bed sores, right? He said, and keep them there a little longer, they fuck around and have worms. He didn't say fuck around and have, but he said they have worms, right?
Right.
And he said, where the worms come from?
Right.
Right.
He said, you got to roll them over. The top half is cool, look cool. He said, where the worms come from? I didn't put worms in the room. He said, you did the thing in school where you put the potato in a jar,
Right.
and left it in the window, and then come back some weeks later, there's worms all in your shit.
Right.
He said because the lack of air, brings out the bullshit basically that's
Right.
in you.
That's true.
The worms came from you.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, like, damn, that makes so much sense. I didn't put that in the room.
Right.
And it's just like, damn. So hearing him explain things, and then, I read about the case first, actually. The
Okay.
big case, I don't know, it was 1970.
Yeah. 1975.
1975. And I was amazed about, and I had a little video.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, is this real? Because I wasn't hip to it, right?
Right. Right.
And I'm just like, who is this dude? CB, I can say that. Who's this?
Yeah.
Who's this dude? I said, he did that? Right?
Right.
So I Googled, and I'm just all this information, bro. All these things and interviews and hearing him talk. It was like somebody he's probably the best speaker to relay this type of shit.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
everybody else could be, it's like a turnoff. Like
Right.
you hear them talk about get your life right foods and foods,
My grandpa kept it simple.
Yeah.
It wasn't he was cutthroat straight to the point. Just because of the fact that you know where he's from. He's from Honduras. He's from a third world country where it's poor, period. You get what I'm saying? It's we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's poor over there, We don't have a luxury of toilet tissue the way you guys get to just waste.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Americans have a luxury that we don't have. Right. So when he came here, all he wanted to do was tell the people that we had a cure for AIDS. Now he told my great grandmother, "Hey, I'm going to the court with this." She said, "They're gonna come after you." He said, "I know." After that,
he was fully prepared at that time.
he knew it.
Okay.
He wanted to come here to show America that there's a cure. If there's a disease that these white men have, there's a cure for every disease out here.
Right.
Cancer. We walking for what? There's a cure for cancer. It's right there in the ground.
Walking for what?
What are we walking for? Walking for cancer. Donate every month. They have something for cancer.
Right.
Bro, I do not mean to turn that into that is funny.
We're walking for
though.
cancer, and there's a cure for cancer.
Man.
It's right in your
You
backyard.
don't see nobody walking for the flu.
I'm
Right.
trying to
We don't
tell
walk for
you.
the flu. They giving us the flu shot.
Bro,
Right.
that is funny as hell. We walking for what? All these thousands of dollars every year. You
Every
out
year.
here doing all the miles,
You walking in the heat
Bro.
for no reason.
Right.
There's a cure.
stomping on the ground that's growing the plant that cures the cancer.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
Jeez,
It's insane.
stomping on the cure. Look
But-
at that.
When my grandpa went to court, he didn't have any representation. He knew he was gonna win. How can you go against someone that know?
Right.
He never went to school. He studied plants. His first clients was in Honduras. Cured a man from AIDS. Cured a man from blindness. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to America with it. Came to America. They locked him up. Who's this foreigner? For one, you foreign and you black.
Right.
And you
Right.
doing this at a time where racism was at its all-time high. So, you black and you say you got a cure? Nigga, who you think you are?
Our
Lock him up.
pockets.
That's crazy.
Oh, so, okay. Where my grandpa was really smart, they gave him a plea bargain. Take this 12 years in jail. My grandpa said no. They said, nigga, you might as well hang yourself in here right now. He said no. You want a lawyer? No. He didn't want nobody representing him. That judge said, you better come in here with 8 people that you cure from everything. He had a line outside.
I heard, yeah, that's like a lawyer.
But then not only that, my grandpa made the AMA up they bar because they didn't know about electric cell food. They didn't know how plants can electrify your body
Wow.
and build your immune system and help you get rid of AIDS and cancer and syphilis. And
How do you not know that though? Like
these
how?
are white, prestigious
That's crazy.
doctors who have PhD degrees and
Right.
the finest education, where this man come from Honduras, La Ceiba, and he got a cure for AIDS.
Right.
Who you think you are? He in a room for the seven doctors and scientists.
Crazy.
I just don't understand, how do we not know that, and maybe this is coming from the spiritual perspective, but how do we not know that if we all are of this earth and we are all one with each other and all of the things that come from the earth, how do we not know that everything that we need to complement and to be our best selves comes from that from which we also come from? Like, how do we not, on some,
I think.
how do we not know that?
I think. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of us still don't know.
Yeah.
But the way we end up coming over here also fucked us all up. You know what I mean?
I'm not even talking about us. I'm talking
about. Well, because
masses.
right? Because if I go further into that, I'm gonna have to talk shit about somebody.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'll use us
That's fair.
and I'll use quote unquote minorities, right? Which we are the majority, right? But I'll use it just quote unquote minorities, whatever. So if we start from when we was rocking, we was taking shit from here, not us technically, because we know what happened to us, whatever. But everybody else was taking shit from here, from that land, and doing that, whatever.
Right.
But when they came over,
Right.
and when they got to rocking, they fucked over everybody. Like,
Right.
and then they not only they fuck over everybody, they took everything and sold everything to you.
Right.
Everything you thought was cool.
Don't you start,
But see,
Right.
But you know what?
because this will take a sharp left real
Right,
quick.
right,
Not start.
But I'm gonna go back to what you just said. What happened was that we went from everything up to earth. Everything was of the earth, right? To Jordans,
Right.
television, video games, pagers, cell phones, computers. Now we have iPads and drones can go in the air. So, and not to forget reality TV. reality TV is destroying us as a whole. We think reality TV is everything is real. Oh, let's not forget the internet. Right. You know, some of us is older than the internet, but we'll go to the internet for information.
Right.
Like we don't know. Mm-hmm. That's part of
the programming.
The programming.
Yeah, no, I guess
like,
intellectually I understand it.
It's fair. It's always fair to ask a question. Like,
right.
But
right.
Also it's kind of like, but Joy, you know what's up though.
No, I do.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like, and there's a difference between like there's an intentional, very calculated, agenda. Right. I'm clear about that.
Right.
But I also just feel like on some level, are we really out here saying we just didn't know that they like? I can accept. We knew and we just wasn't trying to tell y'all because we had some other shit going on. I can roll with that in that I get that part of it. But I'm like, are we really just out here like, I really didn't know a plant.
Yeah,
like, are we really?
Yeah.
How? How did you not know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
that's what I'm like. Come on, dude.
When I brought up, about us, right? You can see how we not know, right? And history and generations being fucked over, all that kind of shit, right?
Right.
And then you see today we have our prized possession is soul food, and we know what that was, right? And we know for straight up how we got that food.
Right.
We know exactly what happened with that, right?
And remember, we had that conversation at the park. Mm-hmm. How, not to cut you off, but we got bamboozled. Look at the gorilla. Remember I talked about the gorilla?
Yeah.
The gorilla is the strongest animal in the jungle.
Right.
Plant-based.
Right. Straight up.
He not eating no flesh.
Right.
Not a lick of flesh.
Right.
You can cut it right in front of him. He won't not go. He ain't gonna look at you like you crazy.
Right.
He's eating plants.
Right.
But he's how much do he weigh? He could weigh up to 800 pounds.
Yeah, beat your ass.
And will slang your ass right across that, clear across that jungle if you want to.
Right.
The only thing that eats meat is what? A lion. A bear. The bear barely eats meat. He eating fish.
Yeah.
And how big is that bear? He's not eating no flesh, killing no deers.
Right. And a bear will slap your head off.
Right.
In real life. Slap it off.
Right.
Okay.
That was
off your neck. Right. Gone.
When we got brainwashed is when we start following the Western customs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when I say Western customs, look at how many people smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that we did. That's not us at all. But we smoke cigarettes.
Right.
Remember what we talked about? People eating medium rare meat.
Right. That's definitely not our shit.
Well, that is not us. That you trying to be? Come on now. You know who you trying to be.
Right. That's definitely not our shit.
That's not us at all. Your mama ain't never cooked no medium rare meat in her life.
Your mama ain't
never.
Get that pink shit out of here.
Come on. But, that's what happens. We get brainwashed.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Look at the brainwash. So I'm gonna kind of go into some other shit, but so I watch these food shows, Chopped and all these shows, right? Mm-hmm. I love all these shows, but I noticed that if a chef makes something, they'll say, "Oh, the food is a little overcooked," but in the chef world, well done means overcooked.
Right.
Mm.
And I'm like, once I found that out, like, that's what the fuck they so undercooked is like your shit gotta walk away. Basically,
right.
Bye.
Right. Right.
You walk away. You walk
that's
away.
Well done.
That's well done.
What? Why is that over? So I'm like, oh, see, and they got you thinking what right is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to certain restaurants and they say, oh no, we only make this steak
they
at
set
a
the
medium
standard.
rare. That's how the chef wants it. He make you get down like he get down.
Right.
And it's like, no, I like my meat cooked. If you get down with me, like, I like my meat cooked all the way through. Please, I don't think it should be a problem. But right.
My money.
Right. My money. Right.
But yeah, that's some real shit. Like it's like that was they shit. That wasn't
right.
Our
that wasn't
shit.
us at all.
That's sick, yo.
It is.
Yeah. Welcome to assimilation.
I asked you a question, and in the party that day, right? And I said, would Dr. Sebi being who he was? Because I knew what's up, so I know a gang of motherfuckers knew what's up. Right? Right. So, and we ain't got to get into no crazy, you know what I mean? But just kind of like, however you want to answer this. I'm stopping like that. Why wasn't he that man should have been hoisted up at the shoulders by us, right?
Right.
Like, because you have your Facebook activists and your people on IG that throw the memes up about Dr. Sabi and we should do this and show the videos, right? I was one of the dudes on every Dr. Sabi video I watch. I'm like, yo, this is dope. Post.
Right. Send.
This is dope. Send. It's out, going out, right?
All right.
Cool caption. Everybody get a bar of this. Wait for the next one, right?
All right.
But like, why? But I'm only me with my 4,000 friends on Facebook. What about some of the elites of whoever black elites are? You know what I mean? Like, because I know they know. If I know them, they know.
They
what's
know,
up,
right?
And even with the likes of Michelle Obama,
Right.
who does health and wealth and right, like, why wouldn't you? You should want the world to see him and hear him what he got to say about health and wealth. Right.
We back to the politics.
Okay.
Only because, as a whole, my grandfather went to everybody, and they slammed the door. I don't know if it was because he's a black man or what. If it was a white man, he would have had a line around the corner right now.
Right.
We have a cure that nobody else have. FDA approved and AMA approved by the government, and people don't believe.
That's crazy.
My grandpa have never been, been to a award show. No one ever said, hey, we're going to acknowledge Dr. Sabi at our award show. Right. Not one time, not BET, nobody.
Even after.
Nobody.
Yeah, like, it's like you don't want to be you don't want to associate. Dude, like you want to talk about black greats? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why aren't we talking about him? Like, don't get me wrong, Prodigy just died. Y'all changed our BET special to make it
a Prodigy.
Right? And Prodigy's incredible, and I love Prodigy. I'm just saying, Dr. Sebi, he earned his motherfucking spot on the BET show or whatever.
We have helped so many people on BET.
No, I get it. I want the people to know. So I asked him because when I asked Isaiah, I already knew what was up. I didn't know in detail what was up, obviously. But I knew that why you couldn't show somebody like this on a major network.
My grandfather been on CBS and KGLH, but people not gonna believe that.
That's what That's what I'm getting at.
Down to.
Yeah, I'm not getting at the politics because I know you know that.
Who gonna believe a black man got a cure for AIDS? I couldn't even tell my friends as a kid. Yeah, my grandfather got a cure for AIDS.
Right.
Because of the story that we believed for so long, and it goes back to the conversation we were having last week and that we've had multiple times, is that once you dealing with somebody who has a core belief about what this is, and when you've built up the story around it and the fear around it, it almost feels like, okay, you want me to just eat this plant and think but my life is on, like, I have AIDS or whatever the thing is that people have, right? Like, and again with the sound bites, don't be trying to take this into it. I don't have AIDS, but people, people who have whatever they have and their life is on the line and they're so afraid for their survival that you want to tell me it's as simple as eating this plant or this herb or this whatever. Like, it feels like, no. And I got too much fear attached to the fact that I'm gonna die if I don't do it this other way.
You know why?
That pills with a bunch of big ass names on the background.
And that feels like a better thing to me because of the way you've been conditioned
exactly
to believe, similar to what you were saying, going back to this Western medicine, kind of this westernized approach to medicine and cure and all of that. So when that's your core belief, right, and that's what you have been told, like, you've literally been going to the doctor, getting the shots and doing all the things that they tell you to do since birth, and now you're however old you are, and that's been your outlook on medicine and health and cure, and the first thing you do when you feel whatever kind of way is make a doctor's appointment. Not, have I been resting? How's my diet been? Not checking my stress levels, not checking any of those things. You feel whatever you feel, and the first thing you do is make a doctor's appointment.
Right.
So when you talk about you got something that's threatening your whole life, not just like I got a cough or sore throat.
Right.
I'm talking about my whole life. I'm about to shrivel up and die.
Right.
You talking about a plant, brother? Come on.
See?
And it's not. It's too deep in your core beliefs to just flip the switch like that when your life is on the line. Like, that's too heavy.
But see, it can't be. Now, that's a key point. I like that because most people, hey, I'm in a higher power. You may believe in God. Remember we talked about that. Most people believe in God or whoever you believe in. Now, you believe in God. The earth's the head of the nation, right? But you'd rather trust this man in a white jacket to save your life. This man in this white jacket gonna tell you, you gonna die in 6 months. You got 3 months to live, and then I'm gonna go outside and tell your family. So it's in the universe. Not only am I putting it in the universe, then I'm giving it to you. I'm telling you. Now you depressed. Now you sad. You don't even have You don't even have cancer,
which is causing it to spread even more.
You get what I'm saying? Now you gonna cause it to spread more. Your stress levels done went up. Now your family outside looking for hope. Now he tells them that you got cancer. Now they, oh my God, she only got 6 months to live. Now the whole family thinking that now he got you bamboozled. Okay, now I can write all these prescriptions.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
the
gonna
fear
write
takes
this,
over.
I'm gonna write that. Like she said, fear takes over. But it all goes down to being programmed. Period. Westernized. We have to go back to what's of the earth. The plants of the health of the nation. It wasn't no medicine.
Right.
I don't know what doctor in the history of man has ever cured anything.
There's a balm in Gilead, is what they said. So, and I appreciate that point about the people who believe in God, because if we're talking about religion, and we're talking about that's your belief, and that is the guidelines or the standards by which you live your life, you do have to consider wasn't nobody going and getting no big ass pills in an orange bottle. And never. And they was living till 900 and whatever years old.
Exactly.
If we believe in that,
how
right?
does this guy and God know your exact date?
All right, how this man, he God now. You playing God and my doctor.
Remember, God only one who knew at first, and then now he knows.
Now he know. He know.
Right. So there's all those. That's a great point. But there's all those little pieces that I think. Yeah, I mean, when you bring the religion pieces and all of that, it turns into a whole nother conversation. But there's all of this that goes into how we need to begin to pull back from everything that we've been given, literally fed, force-fed, no pun intended, and begin to like ask questions and think a little bit more deeply, step out of our emotions, particularly out of the fear, and say, okay, now what?
I got a question because I walked in on y'all.
Okay.
But this serious. So, one, when you mentioned like they didn't have certain medicines back in the day, like, oh, we were all, what about before medicine? Like before medicine, people was dying from really simple shit too, right? Like that was like a big thing of people dying from really simple things that medicine cured. Right. So one, what about that? And then two, like I'm not a person who really was raised around all bullshit. I was raised around a lot of people who like had their shit together.
Right.
So some of them died early too. Like, and when they get to that point where you're like, okay, you've been doing everything right. You in good physical health for your age, your skin glowing, you eat fucking everything you eat sound unattractive. Like, you doing all the right things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's part of what makes at least me have a certain question, because I'm like, all right, of course I know eating better for you is this, that, and the other, but I'm like, shit, there's enjoying food, and then there's watching people who were underneath a discipline so much, and they died just as young as the next person.
Certainly.
Okay. Now, we talked about that as well. I was telling Luck how at the park, most vegans die faster than average person because they eat the wrong things. Most vegans eating carrots, they eating soy, they eating tofu, they eating the wrong things. Cauliflower, broccoli, things that don't have any value. Now, a raw food eater, such as my grandfather, he ate all plant-based. You walk in his house, like I told you, it looked like the Garden of Eden. There's nothing in there but lettuce. But it's going to have protein. He going to have portobello mushrooms. He going to have lentils. He going to have garbanzo beans. It's going to have something else that's going to provide you with nothing but protein. You eat a meal from my grandpa, you're going to be full, but you're going to be like, damn, this is better than meat or anything that you ever ate. Right. But it's all plant-based. You be like, damn, this tastes like I had a burger. He'll make you a portobello mushroom burger, and you would have thought you had it from In and Out. You get what I'm saying? So it was a difference growing up.
But I'm saying, so you guys don't feel science play a role. Like when I think of the hospitals, I think of science.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Like,
oh
that's-
yeah, for
like,
sure.
I think like, okay, there's the natural approach to healing yourself.
Right.
And then there's a body chemistry really going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's these dudes who are chemists who are not marketing themselves as chemists.
Right.
That's my problem.
Right. And
The
that's
doctor was like the chemistry, like if they said like, oh, we're chemists.
Right.
You come in here for like us to chemically try to do some
To
shit.
test shit on you.
Then I'll be a little bit like, okay.
at least y'all telling me what's going on. So to that point, we were talking about earlier. Food is certainly a science, and we were asking like, do we believe in science? I do believe that there is a way that we can use. So we talk about the people who are eating well or whatever, and they die at whatever age. There is not just about, when you talk about having a disease, not just about, but I eat healthy. Are you eating the things that your body needs that you may be deficient in that's causing you? So just because you're eating an array of fruits and vegetables or whatever it is doesn't mean that you're getting what your body needs, whatever you may be deficient in that's causing you to be ill or not well or whatever that is. So there's that piece. But then we also have to remember that as much as nutrition is such a huge piece of it, there's also the emotional health piece that I believe contributes hugely, especially to things like cancer and other things like that. So there's also how we deal with the world around us and what's happening in our family systems and all that also eats away at us. And so even if we are performing the things, the exercises and the nutrition things that are the performative pieces of how we engage in our lives, if we're not dealing with the other stuff, that can cause sickness as well. So it doesn't matter if I'm eating all the spinach in the whole wide world if I'm not dealing with the demons. Right. So there's so many, my point being there's so many elements, and it's not, we can't just do A plus B equals C and I should have lived longer because I did the things.
But I'm saying, so is it wrong to consider, so you got your emotional side and you got your spiritual side and then you got your diet, right, and your exercise. I'm saying there's no place, there's a whole table of elements.
That's true.
Right? And then most of the people I know who don't eat meat or don't do this, paleo diet or whatever, something happened wrong with me, they telling me to grab baking soda. I don't know what the fuck baking soda is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look.
put it on this, put it on that, brush your teeth with it, use it as deodorant. Like, it's everything, too.
Right.
Alkaline your bath water. Like, it's a lot going on. So,
Right. Your bath water. Yeah, no, that's true.
He's like, that really happened. Somebody really told me.
He's right, though. There's so many.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah.
I
telling
just
you.
recently burned my hand. They were like, make a cold pack out of fucking baking soda. Like,
Yeah.
put it on there, and that's the best thing. And that shit worked fast as fuck.
Yeah.
But so we don't have to. You don't think we should consider the elements, and then the elements being the chemistry, like to get into these chemical imbalances or disorders that don't have anything to do with diet, or don't have to do
You know what?
solely with diet.
Okay, look, you're right.
That's the key.
You absolutely right. I'm gonna go to 2 points that you said. You said, now when you go to the doctor, when you go to you said you brought up Kaiser. Now most people trust their doctor, right? You trust your doctor.
No, but
I mean, no, but most people they gonna trust their
people do,
doctor.
right.
You're gonna go to your doctor for everything, but you forget that that's a medical practice.
They practice medicine.
They're
Exactly.
practicing
Yeah.
medicine. So if you was to take this promethazine, it may give you a heart attack. But if she take it, she could be fine. But your doctor not gonna tell you that. Now, for most men, between the age of 21 to 75, most men are taking high blood pressure pills, right? Right. Now, your doctor, he gonna write you that prescription, but he not gonna tell you the side effects of it. Why is that? But you trust him. You trust him. You get what I'm saying?
Or he might tell you to minimize it, because I'm one of those guys. I went blood pressure pill, right? And then, because I talked to you about this.
Right.
Actually, if you're going to remember when, so I was like, dang, my shit is fucked up. I went, they like, okay, take these blood pressure pills. It's going to kind of fuck with your kidney if you take a whole one, so we just going to give you half. Just take a half. So I'm like, okay, but I don't take medicine like that. So I'm like, all right, I go for the test.
Right.
The blood work, the run work, all the machines, like I go for that.
Right.
So I get back, I talk to Clutch and Isaiah, for people who haven't figured that out. So I get some sea moss, right? and I get what was the other thing we talked about?
I think the detox cleanser or something.
No, I got
The male balance.
It wasn't from you though. It was just like you were like, it was a spice. Turmeric.
Oh yeah, turmeric.
Yeah.
Turmeric.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
good.
the jam.
Then
I
I
put
took the
turmeric in
shit.
Yeah, turmeric
No, I
is
didn't
amazing.
take it. I went back. Then they said, no, you need to take the whole pill. I'm like, damn, y'all told me that I was gonna fuck up my shit. Y'all don't remember that conversation?
Right. But
They're like, that was Tuesday. It's
Right.
Thursday now. You can
Right.
take it.
But now they
What? No.
Hopefully you'll be off by then.
hopefully, right. See what I'm saying?
All right, but I'm like, all right. So I didn't even go pick those up because I already know. I take the turmeric shit, come back, and they like, okay, you weren't taking pills, right? I'm like they had a thing like the pills don't work like this.
Right. Right.
You don't have any signs of anything.
Right.
You ain't taking the pills, bro.
They're like, hey, the pills actually work.
right. Shut down the pills.
Right.
So
They were like, we're supposed to need you to come back so you can need this other thing that we're
Right,
going to
you need
prescribe
this
you.
refill.
Get your kidneys fixed.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we
now we're
needed
going to give you
to
some for
need
your
this other
prostate.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm into the
We were
balance
actually trying
of
to
it.
cause this.
Yeah, I'm into the balance of it, and I agree with you guys. But I just think about it because I got to deal with kids, other people. Like, okay,
Right.
Right.
when do I? For people who not really as disciplined as both of you guys on the diet and the whole lifestyle, like, okay, you got yourself into a complex position where you at in your diet in your life now.
Right.
To be thinking like the mango spice is about to get you out of this, that, and the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mango
in the time
spice.
you got a lot to fix this.
Right.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
But the thing is, our bodies are built for survival. They call it homeostasis, right? To get back to full functioning. So they want to work well. Our bodies want to function, which is why it tells us when it doesn't feel well, why we get a sore throat or a headache or whatever. It's our body telling us it's not working right, and it wants us to know because it wants us to fix it.
Right.
So our bodies do respond quickly to the proper types of food medicines, if you will, because our bodies do really want to function properly.
She's right. She's absolutely right. Where your body, that's your temple. Most people don't know their temple. You don't know yourself, so how you gonna know your body?
Right.
Now, it's certain foods that you may eat. You're like, oh, my stomach hurt. Or, oh, this. You may throw up. You may get like, damn, why I do that? Your body rejected it.
Exactly.
You didn't see the sign of your body showing you something. That's like most people. Some people drink coffee. I'm gonna get a headache if I stop drinking it. Well, you've been drinking it 365 days a year, so your body been dependent on it. Now, of course, you stop for 2 days, you're gonna get a headache.
Now it's a drug
Naturally,
game.
now it's a drug game. And back to what you said, coffee is the #1 drug in America, and it's legal. It's legal. Cause
Lord have
weight
mercy.
gain, stain the teeth, cause women to have breast cancer, inflammation, parasites. How is that good for the body?
Damn.
Because it keeps you up, and we need you to be able to work long hours so we can make money off of you.
Right.
That's why it needs to be legal. Come on, dude. Keep up.
Right.
I want to talk about some of your products.
Okay.
Like CMOS. I thought that was very interesting.
Okay. CMOS. CMOS provides you with 92 of 102 minerals what the body is composed of. Now, as a kid, I couldn't stand CMOS. I'm gonna just be honest, because when my grandfather first came with CMOS in '95, he brought in this big old trash bag, and it stanked up the whole house. It stanked up the neighborhood. People was coming outside. What does that smell? Like, that's how it smelled. Like, to see you're taking this. Like, what? My pops get mad. Like, man, what is this you got in my house? Like, everybody mad. You guys gonna drink it? It's good. We're like, damn. Okay. I was about 7. So my grandpa said, here. It's all clumpy and green. I'm like, Grandpa, I don't know what, he tripping. I don't know what he on today. Pop's like, drink it. I spit it out and started crying like, man, I ain't drinking that. It's nasty. But when I stopped, I took about a couple sips of it. Stopped drinking it. But how I felt 30 minutes later, it made me want it again. I was energized. I was alert. I used to like to run. I played basketball, so I ran a lot. I just started running. I had a lot of energy. Pop's like, damn, okay. I kept taking CMOS. It strengthened my bones. It built my immune system. Kept me healthy as a kid. even as an athlete, I never had any injuries from it. But when I really saw the transformation of CMOS was through Lisa Left Eye Lopez, rest in peace. I was about 16 when she first started taking our products. The day my grandfather mentioned her, you know who TLC is? I'm like, yeah. He like, Left Eye, she's on her way. I'm like, on her way where? On her way here. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking in my head like, damn, we got one of the biggest icons about to take our products, which is dope. Her and Andre Rison came together, you know, he started with CMOS. Now, I watched their transformation, her and Andre Rison. Andre Rison had the best season of his career. He was taking CMOS. I watched their transformation for 7 days. It was incredible. You know, she walked in, she didn't look healthy. You know, she looked stressed. Then I saw her again. She had a natural glow, nice aura, energy was calm. I was like, damn, this is not the same person.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that CMOS is amazing. But I still was young, you know, I really didn't understand. To where I asked my grandfather, I want to see somebody with HIV. I was about 16. I said, I want to see somebody with HIV. He laughed, like, okay. I said, I want to see him with HIV and I want to see him go without it. You know, so many people talking about your grandpa carrying AIDS. Oh, my God, you know, do he really do it? So it made me curious, like, well, damn, do he? I see all these healthy results from people, you know, records, tons of people, diagnostics, all kind of stuff. You know, people go from AIDS to not having it, herpes to not having it. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I see it on the record, but I never see it in person. So he was like, okay, let's go. We went to a gentleman's house. He had HIV. Now, the aura of someone with HIV, we all wouldn't sit in this room. Mm-hmm. You will be outside right now, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, HIV is serious. Mm-hmm. If you have HIV, it's not something to play with. You're going to smell it come out the pores. Mm-hmm. So we walked in. I started tearing up. Like I told you, I almost threw up. It was very awful. My grandpa said, gain your composure. I watched my grandfather give him his products, told him, you know, what he was going to eat, made his meals. Boom. We didn't go back till I was probably about 17. We took a ride, went to this man's house. Now, this man was on his deathbed. HIV, you can't sit up this fast.
Right.
You panting by the time I sat up. You breathing hard. You know, you very weak.
Because it's attacking your immune system.
Immune
like
system and your central, and your central nervous system. Mm-hmm. So he was weak. I saw the same man who couldn't get out the bed greet me at the door and waving that next year. I told my grandpa, you amazing. Mm-hmm. That's when I knew my grandfather was truly amazing and how important CMOS and these products are really, you know, valuable to us as people. Mm-hmm. That's cell food. That's real protein. Right. You can't get 92 minerals from anything in GMC. Mm-hmm. And GMC products are not FDA approved by the government. Mm. And most people don't know that. Mm. If you used to take a protein out of GMC and take it at your own risk, you can't sue GMC.
That's right. I didn't know that. Yep.
Right.
That stuff is a mess. Yeah. Everything in there is a powder and a pill.
Powder and a pill.
Everything in there is a powder and a pill. People, when I had my studio, people would always be like, what supplements do you recommend? I'm like, if it's not a herb and it didn't grow from the ground, don't take it.
Right. Don't take it. She's right.
Period. If it's white and chalky, don't take it.
Don't take it.
Like, for what? Like,
for real.
Some stuff is just simple.
So
you wouldn't pick up a piece of chalk and eat it, so why would you take anything else that looked just like that and tell me that it's going to do something for what your insides? Like, why would you think that?
It's crazy. I was watching a couple friends who bodybuild and stuff like that, but watched a couple of documentaries on bodybuilding and people getting crazy with the Mr. Olympia contest and all that stuff. And I be tripping out when I'm looking at the diet, right? Mm-hmm. And they eat some shit, right? I don't see how you put down that much shit. I know big dude saying, I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you ate 7 eggs just now, right? So I'm like, so a lot of large amounts of food. Right. And then, so now when they show the supplement on the counter, they have these big ass jugs.
Jar thing, yeah.
Creatine and different things, right? Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, you feel this
poison?
This big ass thing? Like,
you're right. What is it?
Right, what is it? Like, they poured in something and they like, this. Why you even sell that shit? Like,
right. Hey, it's because, see, you said something. Creatine, whey protein. Those things are designed to destroy the body. Designed is gonna tear down your erection. It's gonna mess with your prostate. You have skin reactions from it. Dehydration. It's no value. Real protein electrifies the body. Put minerals back into the body, not chemicals.
Right. So let's talk about this bodybuilding for a second. Because there's a misconception. People think that steroids make you big.
Oh,
That's not what happens.
that's not
What
good.
steroids does is it allows you to be able to withstand more weight.
Right.
So you're lifting more weights, which then is what allows the muscle to get bigger.
Exactly.
So, what it's doing by the way that you are able to withstand more weight is that essentially it's like bypassing your body's natural system. So remember I told you working out is like having a conversation with your body. And if you were to lift a weight that was too heavy, your body would respond by saying it would hurt or do something that would say, yo. So what the steroid is doing is allowing your body to bypass that system that would say, hey, whoa, that's too heavy.
Okay.
To keep going so you can lift the heavier weight to therefore build the bigger muscle. Why would anyone want to take something that is suppressing your body's natural response to what is happening when your body wants to tell you, no, wait, that's too much. But you're taking something that's allowing it to say, no, it's fine.
Right.
Go right ahead. Don't ignore that. Yes, that's your body telling you it doesn't want to do it, but don't worry. Keep going. 500 more pounds. Go. Actually, go to the gym 3 times today. You can do it.
Wow.
And that's what steroids essentially are doing. So it's like if we knew that, why would you want to take a substance that is basically shutting down your body's built-in system to support you and not fucking your shit up?
But then,
Why would you want to take something that's going to do
why?
that?
She's right. But then, not only that, they forget about the side effects of it.
Exactly.
Even with the B12. Even with the B12. Most women right now are taking B12 shots to lose weight. But in actuality, that's going to cause you to gain more weight once you stop that B12.
Right.
One of my friends give B12 to his dog. And the way his dog look is enlarged. He enlarged his dog with B12.
That's crazy.
So if B12 can enlarge a pit bull, what you think it's going to do to you?
That's crazy.
Right.
What about like depot shots and stuff like that, you know?
That's none of that stuff.
Hey, don't listen. I said no.
What?
You don't want to take that sharp left. You don't
I
want to do that.
Wait.
You
You was thinking about getting
Tuesday.
depot shots?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying,
okay.
like for women, like, you know, women.
Yeah, women.
All that hormone shit is no.
That stuff is not good.
Right.
All that's it's going to be a no from me. It's going to be a no from me.
Right. Well,
You know.
I watch a lot of women start getting a depot shot. Like I'm talking about getting like fashion, kind of like.
Right.
First of all, I don't really understand the real purpose of it. Is it strictly just birth control? Supposedly, is it just birth control? Like women don't want to have babies, so this is another method that won't allow you.
That is a steroid that they put into their body.
Right.
So you injecting yourself with a steroid, it's going to mess up your uterus. It's going to mess with your reproductive organs. It could cause cancer.
It's once again trying to bypass your body's natural systems.
Right. Exactly.
You trying to bypass something that's supposed to happen. If you out here having sex with no condom and the dude is shooting the club up, you're supposed to get pregnant. So when you do stuff to bypass the natural system, you got to ask yourself, what is happening in the meantime then?
Exactly.
Like, you just got to ask those questions. There's a study, actually, I can't remember the lady's name, but it's like something about like what they never taught you in sex ed or something to that effect. And it's like a 90-minute video on YouTube, and she's talking about all these different things, but there's a section in it where she addresses the birth control issue. She talks about how they did it with, I can't remember if it was gorillas, or I think it might have been with gorillas, but she talked about how it impacted how they related to one another. So she was saying that gorillas are typically naturally more monogamous kind of animals or whatever, whereas they choose and they kind of made up and they raise their families similar to how we are. We have our families, right? We raise our or whatever. So what she was saying is that when they gave the female gorilla, I think it was gorillas, when they gave them birth control, what was happening was because how they would link up and choose their partners was based on kind of like what's
masculinity.
But it's the I can't remember.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, but it's
YouTube.
something to the effect like the scent basically, like this animalistic kind of scent.
Right,
and
right,
so
right.
And it's based on the pheromones. That's what
Right,
it is, the
pheromones,
pheromones.
okay.
And so what was happening was that when they were giving the female gorillas the hormones, it messed with their pheromones. So what would happen was that the gorillas will come back to wherever the encampment where they are, and he would be confused as to which one was whom because the pheromones would be all off because of the hormonal function of everything. And what was happening because of that confusion is that they became violent. They became violent and they became very volatile and they would attack each other. The male gorillas would attack each other and also the female gorillas. And it just created this mass chaos amongst the gorilla families, or I don't know what they're called, but it just created a lot of confusion and chaos because it was messing with their normal ways of how they attract and form. And ultimately, again, going back to this issue of survival, because if I'm mating with you and we're trying to keep the species going, and now I don't know what's going on because the pheromones is off, and now you can't have the thing because you got the thing that's stopping you from doing it. That's not what this is supposed to be. It's making me mad. Like, it really is what it's doing. It's making me mad. You fucking up what we out here doing.
Right.
So, yeah, like this is how we survive. This is how we stay alive. This is how we do this. And you want to be out here taking this pill, and I'm confused.
Right.
And that's also what's happening with the bees right now.
That's true.
The bees are out here tripping because of all these waves. They go off They go off the vibrations and everything of the natural energies, but we got all these waves, cell phones, and Wi-Fi, and all these things, and it's messing their stuff up. So they're literally out here confused.
But see, not only that with the bees, it's more so the chemicals that they spraying us with too.
Right.
The chemtrails is the one killing off the bees, the
Exactly.
birds, all the pesticides in the air
because they
is killing off
pollinate our plants.
Yeah.
So they going in trying to pollinate and getting the shit.
Right. That's true.
They trying to feed us.
This shit is all fucked up.
It
is.
It's really like when you get down to like this.
It's very scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, but see, it's all go back to what you put in your body.
Yeah.
Like she said, like your temple is everything. So if you eating, most people eat burgers, right? Now, one of your homies ate a burger. Y'all chilling. Y'all was cool. 30 minutes later, he angry. That next person he talked to on the phone, he might get the curse. He like, man, what's going on? Yeah. But you not knowing that burger just messed with your hormones, the chemicals, exactly.
All that.
All the chemicals in that burger just messed with all your genetic makeup. Damn. And you ain't even know it.
And the time it took for your body to digest it and get it into your bloodstream and do all of that.
You angry.
So to add on to that, so if you continue to do that, it can permanently shift.
That's
chronic. It's just chronic.
That's where diabetes is created.
Right.
Cancer is created. Obesity is created. Most of our diseases is in our community.
But it's not irreversible. That's the thing that we have to say. Like we can't come and be like all the things that we eat is shit and we just gonna die. Like it's not irreversible.
Not at all.
It's going back to what we said earlier. It's like you just make a decision and your body wants to be healthy.
Exactly.
It wants to function. That is why it tells you when shit is not going right because it wants to be well.
That's true.
And so it's not that we just are doing all these things and it's like, well, I'm 35, 40 years old. I've been doing it. It's too late now. It's not too late. You can absolutely choose to change your mind. That's why we can see these people who be like, I started bodybuilding when I was 65. And then we look at them and we're like, how is this possible? Because they made a decision.
To want to change.
It's not magic. It's not that it's not how is it possible. Right. They made a decision and changed the way that they treated themselves.
Right.
The end.
That's crazy.
Or the beginning, really.
It's really the beginning.
The beginning, really.
So let's go. Okay, basically, to basically wrap this up, right? So, what I want to do is kind of end it with like your last thought on just the whole conversation in general, like a final thought, maybe advice, or maybe something like that. I just want to, and then we'll also let people know where to follow you guys and where any kind of business thing, Let's start with you. So this just summarize, kind of like your final point would be to all this whole kind of conversation.
Ooh. We said so many things today. I just want to first, before I even go into my final thought, thank you for having me on, Bad Luck, and I thank you for joining us, Isaiah, and your input. I appreciate just having this conversation. It's such a necessary conversation. To be able to play it back is gold. I think my final thought would just be to be intentional and be conscious about the decisions that you're making, right? Because I think we've said a lot today, and people probably feel convicted, like, "Ooh, I had a burger today," or "I had whatever fast food." And the intention here is not to try to guilt people into health. We want to empower you into your health. And that starts by having these conversations and letting you know what's actually happening. And now the ball is in your court to begin to make intentional and conscious decisions. And if that means you need to pause in the grocery store and read a label, if it comes with a label, you probably don't want it anyway. But if that means, if that means, you know what I mean? If you just got the baby steps, right? Going back to the earlier part of the conversation we were having, if that just means taking a little bit more time to do some research, to be considerate of what you are doing to yourself. There's a huge conversation in the world right now about self-love and self-care, and part of that is what you eat, right? How you eat is a reflection of what you think of yourself. So if you're feeding yourself poison, what does that say about how you feel about yourself? So really begin to recontextualize the conversation around food. Be aware, ask questions. Don't beat yourself up, but begin to love yourself in simple things, starting with what you put on your plate. Yeah. I think would be my final thought.
Thank you. Isaiah?
I just want to thank you again, Bad Luck, for having me on your show. And meeting this wonderful young lady, Joy. Very bright, very smart young lady right here, and we will do business. But my final thought, just to the people, is that take care of your temple. It's very valuable. Like she said, like Joy said, we're not here to bash you or make you look bad or make you, you feel convicted or anything in that sort. We're just here to educate you to make proper choices. Mm-hmm. I'm young, just like you guys. We in this urban community. It's about longevity.
Right.
It's about being healthy. Health is wealth. Just like you value that purse, those Jordans, those shoes, that car, value your health the same way. That's all I want to say. And for the people that don't know about Dr. Sebi, look him up. It's very important. That's valuable information that's needed for your household. You want to know how to get healthy? That's the start. Google Dr. Sebi. And for the people that want to know about sea moss, that's 92 of 102 minerals. The world needs sea moss. And if you want sea moss, you can reach me at 323-602-4209, or you can hit me on IG at Dietary Resolutions. And everybody have a great night.
Oh, man. And before I wrap, I just want to say, like I said, I was looking forward to this show.
Yeah.
Looking forward to definitely have you guys on, Joy and Isaiah. I knew it would be a great conversation. Definitely right about that. And my final thought is for all the newbies like myself trying to find my way through this healthy way of living or eating right, eating better, making better choices. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Straight up. For me, it's baby steps. When I met my man Isaiah, I was on my way to go kill a burger somewhere. Right? Maybe I got the pill to kill the burger. Baby steps. Right.
Right. But no, I told you, I said, even with changing your lifestyle, it's not easy. Yeah. Baby steps. Like I told you, hey, pig out, do whatever you're going to do, but get mentally ready.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is something you have to be mentally ready for. It's a lifestyle change. Definitely. Once you start eating clean, you're not going to go back to the same thing.
Your body is not gonna let
it's
you.
not gonna want it.
It's not gonna
Right.
want it.
So, just stay down, man. Learn more, read more, do better research. Look up Dr. Sabi, and look up Joi and Isaiah. And I'm sure, Joi being a clarity coach. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And as Isaiah kicking game all damn day, man. Dietary resolutions, man. Look on his page, check him out, man. Call him, man. If you have any questions or you want to go see what they're about, holla at them because they definitely got some good information for people. And me, I'm just trying to do my part as a podcaster, a man of many things. I'm into all kind of shit. Mm-hmm. So, and health is just one of those things I'm trying to get more into. I understand the value, understand how important it is, and to keep it 1,000, I just want to live. So, that's just my final thought on it, man. That we all can make better choices in everything in life you do. So, super dope episode, man. Joi came through, Isaiah came through, my man Badru came in, dropped a couple of gems, and look out for us next week, man. We have some more juice for y'all. Another dope ass episode, man. This has been a Cookout. This has been a ball. Straight like that. We out.